So I'm going to be talking to you about how to work on your animal Zentangle in Gimp, which is what I'm doing right now. So you can see an example of this as far as I've gotten. So what I did first was I found a photograph of the animal I wanted to use, which is a rat. It's one of the 12 Chinese zodiac animals. And it's important to see that I chose a photograph. You're not using a drawing or a work of art, but a photograph as your reference. So I found the photograph, and I went to File, New, and then I went up here to Template. And I went up to US Letter, which is 8.5 by 11, 300 ppi, just like what we used in Photoshop for our Shape House project. Okay, and I knew I wanted it to be horizontal, so I selected that, and then I hit OK. So then I selected the mark. I used the selection tool. I selected the photo of the rat, copy and pasted it into my 8.5 by 11 document. It's very similar to what you did, same thing that you did with the Shape House. Okay, and so that is how I got to the point where I am here, and then I've started to add patterns and lines in Zentangle style to my animal. So one thing that's important to note, if you look on the right side where it says the layer, I have a background layer which is white, and then I have the layer that the rat is on. So that I've lowered the opacity on that layer to around 50% so I can better view the line work that I'm doing. Okay, this is what I have so far, so I have quite a ways to go. So now I'm going to hop up here to layer 3. I'll just add another layer just so you can see where to do that here. Okay, so now to get started. Let's work over here in the face area. So I zoomed in, and before I get started, I'm going to check my brush right here to see what it's set at. So the brush is set, the size is at 8, but it needs to be somewhere between 2 and 4. It cannot be larger than 4. I know that for the Zentangle, you had it all the way at 10. We're actually going to make a finer line, a smaller size line for the animals. So I'm setting this at 3. So I'd recommend going ahead and getting that set beforehand. It's at hardness 100. I don't want a fuzzy line. So I went ahead and got that situated. So now I'm at my Paths tool here, which is what they call the pen tool in Gimp. And you could start off, sort of outlining different sections of your animal that you're going to be filling with pattern, or, just kind of getting the basic shape of the animal, however you want to start. I'll start here, working on the rat's head. So I'm just clicking. So I go around here, and I know I'm going to need to curve this as I come around there. I'll need to address some detail in the nose, but for right now, I'm just trying to get the outline of this shape here. Whoop. I am not liking the way that looks right there. I think I'm actually going to move the point. Let me go back and actually do this again. Okay. There we go. That's much better. Here, kind of curve this around down here. Maybe I want to go back and forth a little bit to kind of simulate fur. This is a furry little guy. Okay, now in Gimp, I go over here to the left side. Different than Photoshop, go to the left side and I can hit stroke path. And that should stroke the path, whatever I just had it set at. So I had already set up my brush. Remember, it can't be over size 4. So here's the path I just created. I'm just going to get rid of it so you can see the line work that I just did. This line work is the 3, which is a tiny bit smaller than the 4, which is out here. So now I can, be set to go in and create different sections where I'm going to be filling with pattern. Like this will have pattern in it. This area is going to have pattern. the foot, etc. I will get to that part. Okay, regarding how to make circles, this is different than in Photoshop. I'm actually going to use the ellipse selection tool, which is not a shape tool, which is different than Photoshop. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click and drag. I'm creating a little circle for his eye. Okay, so that was pretty simple. But then I have to go up here to the top to select. I'm sorry, to edit. My bad. Go up here to edit, and I'm going to go to stroke selection. Okay? And that is how I can get the black line over the selection of that circle. Okay? Whoop. Okay, so then I'm going to go back up to select and none to get rid of the little marching ants. So, again, to make a circle, just do this again quickly so you can see. I went up to the ellipse select tool. So let's pretend I was going to do another circle right here. And click and drag, and I created my ellipse. Go up here to select. Oh, I messed up again. Go up here to edit, and then drop down to stroke selection. Okay? And that will stroke the selection with whatever you have your paintbrush set at, just like if you're using the pen tool. Then I can go up to select, and none to get rid of the little marching ants. Okay? I'm actually going to get rid of all of that. But that's an example of how you can create ellipses. It's a little different than Photoshop because you're using a selection tool and not a shape tool. And then remember, your path tool is here, your brush tool is here, and for this project your brush needs to be set somewhere between a 2 and a 4, black 100% hardness. Now we are going to be adding color to this, of course, but I'm not going to get to that today. That's going to be the next step. This is just getting you started. This is step 1. And if you have any questions, let me know.